All right, so in this video, I'm going to make a user interface that has icons for everybody playing the game. So I have two alts in here. Both the icons are on this UI, and I'm going to add another player. So we can see if it pops up, there it goes, pops up there. He just entered the game, Simtech Gamer 8. When I leave the game, he should disappear, and the icon is destroyed. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, I am going to get a fresh world and build along with this. It's a great way to see the relationship between the starter GUI and the player GUI and to work with some remote events. All right, so now I have a fresh world here. Let's go ahead and build our UI that has our player icons. So I'm going to go to StarterGui, hit the plus sign, screenGui, hit the plus sign again, and I'm going to do a scrolling frame, right? Scrolling frames are great if you need to put a lot of information, but you don't want to take up a lot of real estate. So I'm going to change the scrolling frame to playerFrame. And the playerFrame, I'm going to change the size a little bit. I think I'm just going to drag this down. The thickness, I calculated that out. Let me make my background color a little different. There we go, a little bit grayer. Background transparency, maybe 50%. Let's go to our size. So on the X, I'm going to make the icons 50 pixels by 50 pixels. And I'm going to make the scroll bar 6 pixels wide. So I'm going to make the X 56 pixels. There. That's perfect. Now I need to make this 6 pixels. It's 12 right now. That's what the default is. Let's go down to scroll bar thickness. There it is. And 6. There we go. All right, that's looking good. Also, when I start adding icons, I'm going to do that by code. I'm going to create the icons. I'm going to do image labels. And when I add them, I don't want them to bunch up, and I don't want to have to calculate out how far down they go. So there's this really cool widget, hit the plus sign, and it's called a UI list layout. If you put that on your frame, it's going to list everything that you add in a nice orderly fashion. That's pretty cool. All right, so we got that done. Let's go to ReplicatedStorage. We're going to need 2 remote events. So I'm going to add a remote event and add a remote event. I'm going to call this one addIcon, AddIconRe, because we're going to build the icon on the server side, and then we're going to send it to everybody who's playing. This one's going to be removeIconRe. Good. ServerScriptService. All right, so when somebody enters the game, we've got to create an icon for them. I'm going to call this icons. All right, so right here, I'll make this a little bigger for you. Let's go ahead and get our replicated storage, game GetService, replicated storage. Go ahead and get our addRe from replicated storage, WaitForChild, addIconRe. That has to be spelled the same as that. All right, let's do one for removeRe. All right, that's my variable. WaitForChild, removeIconRe. Oops, no zero. There you go. And let's see, what else do we got to do? We got those. Let's get our player frame, and we're actually going to get this from the starter GUI, right? So when we enter the game, we're going to add our icon to our starter GUI so that we get it from there, and then anybody joining after us will get it from the starter GUI. But the starter GUI gets cloned to the player, and anybody who's already playing, you'd have to add it to the player GUI. All right, so let's go ahead and get our starter GUI. There we go. And we'll say game GetService, starter GUI. Once we got that, we'll do our screenGui. And I did not rename the screenGui. If you did, you're going to have to change it in this line of code. So GetService screenGui. Oh, not GetService. I'm sorry. StarterGui. Start from scratch here. WaitForChild screenGui. Say local. Now we get our player frame, and that'll be from the screenGui. And WaitForChild playerFrame. All right, so this is the frame on the starter GUI. We're going to add our icon to that first, and then we'll send it all out to all the other players who are already playing. I'm going to make 3 functions: local, function, and this one's going to be to create an icon. All right, we're going to need the player, and I'll make another function: local, function, add player, send in a player, and local function remove player. We're going to have to destroy the icon when they leave. All right, so we're going to use the game player added event to call add player. So connect that to add player. We are going to need the game player removing event to remove the icons when the player leaves. So remove player. There we go. And now let's go ahead and create our icon. Local icon, instance new, image label. That's what I've been calling icon. And we're going to parent it to the player frame. All right. Now, icon background transparency will make it transparent so that it doesn't show up as a little white box. You'll just see the head that's on the frame. Let's get our size. Yeah, there we go, size. It's a UDIM2, which is universal dimension for 2 dimensions. 0 is the scale on the X, 50 is the pixels on the X, 0 is the scale on the Y, 50 is the pixels on the Y. So scale is how big it is in relationship to the parent, and this is the offset. We're just going to make it 50 by 50. All right, so I need my user ID for the player coming in so that I can get his icon from Roblox. So we'll say local user ID, player.user ID, and I need to make a variable for thumbnail type that I'm going to get back from Roblox. Say thumbnail type will be headshot. And we'll need a size, so that's thumbnail size. There we go. Size 100 by 100, that's the smallest one. You notice that this is going to be 50 by 50. That's okay, it'll scale down. All right, and then we'll say local image, and then is ready. We're not going to check to see if it's ready. You could do that for robustness, but I'm going to live vicariously and just kind of hope that it shows up. It will. It almost always does. But like I said, this is an asynchronous call, so you won't really know if it's there or not unless you check this flag. It's almost always there, but if it's a production game, you might want to put a check in there. So I'm going to say user ID. We need that to get the icon. We'll need the thumbnail type and the thumbnail size. Let me shrink this down a little bit so you can see everything. There we go. So we're assuming our icon is ready. It will be, don't worry. Icon image will be the image. Icon name will be the player name. And we're going to need that so that we can destroy it. It's going to be easy to find because it's going to be the player name that we're destroying. Let's just return the icon. All right, so when a player is added, we need to create that icon. So local icon, create icon. We'll pass in a player. And now, for everybody else who's already playing, addRe, fire all clients. This is the player joining, and this is the icon. Nice. All right, so removing is going to be similar. When they go to remove, we're going to say removeRe, fire all clients. That's the player that's leaving. And then we will remove our icon from the player GUI that's on the starter GUI, so new people coming in don't get an icon for a player who is no longer playing. So say WaitForChild, name, destroy. All right, does that look good? Looks good to me. Server side is ready. Now, if you start playing, it's going to look like it's all right. The hard part is the other people who are already playing. See, my icon's here, no problem. But we want everybody else to get the icon too. So go to your screenGui, add a local script, and I'm going to call this icons local. And we'll get icons. Go back to icons real quick and steal these first 3 lines, because the remote events are going to be exactly the same on the client side. So go to icons local again and paste that. Control V. Make that a little bigger. All right. Now we're getting pretty close. Just hold on. We're going to need 2 functions. One for addIcon to GUI. This is going to be the player joining and the icon. We'll have another one, local function, probably guessed this, removeIcon from GUI. We'll just need the player. Catch the 2 remote events. So I'll say addRe. This is a dot on client event connect remove icon from GUI. Get rid of, oh, not remove. Here, I'll get rid of these 2 parentheses and change this to add icon to GUI. That looks good. All right, and then removeRe on client event connect remove icon from GUI. Get rid of those 2 parentheses. All right, so that's good. Just going to call these. Let's put some stuff in here. Let's say if we need a player. We need the local player. This is the player joining. So we need the local player. Remember, we fired this out to all the clients. So all the local players are going to get this, or all the clients are going to get this as the local player. So we'll say lPlayer, game, do GetService, players dot local player. There we go. We got our local player. Let's also get the player frame from the player GUI, right? It's their local player frame. So we'll say player frame equals script.parent.playerFrame. There. Now, if local player, did I get that right? Yeah. Name does not equal the player joining because, whoops, the name, because we already added that. We already added that to their starter GUI, so they're already set. If we didn't do this check, we would add it twice for every player. We'd add it to the starter GUI, then we'd add it to the player GUI. We don't need to do that. We don't want to do that. So I'm going to say local icon equals icon clone. Then I'll say L-icon parent will equal player frame. There we go. Just added it. All right, this line is going to be the same down here in removing. We don't need to remove it from our local player if it's the player that's leaving. I'll say local icon equals player frame. Let's do a find first child and do a check just to make sure it's there. And if icon, then icon destroy. Looking good. So that's all we need. Unfortunately, we can't test it very well here because we have to have multiple players. And the test server doesn't really set itself up for that. We're just going to check here just to make sure we don't get any errors. So if I go view output, I don't see any errors. I can do one thing here in the local. If I comment this if statement out, this will fire and we'll get 2 icons. So I'm just going to do that for a check just to make sure I got 2 icons. Good, good, good. So that's showing that that's firing. I'm going to go back. I'm going to remove that. That's just a test. Now I'm going to push this out to Roblox. I'm going to play it. I'm going to pause the video because that's going to take a little bit of time. And then I'm going to demonstrate what our code is. So let me go ahead and file, publish to Roblox, update existing game, I'm going to overwrite my one that's already working because I'm so confident. And there we go. All right, let me pause the video and I'll show you once I have everything up. I'll start playing again. All right, here we go. It's looking good. I have 2 players in. I'm going to hit F9 to bring up my developer console. As soon as I click on that, there we go. I don't see any errors. That's looking awesome. Make this a little smaller. I'm going to add my 3rd player. Good, no errors. Now I'm going to remove, and I got the 3rd icon. And the 3rd icon disappeared. So it looks like it was a success. So good luck in this video. I hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions. Just go ahead and leave a comment.